Hey comic book fans, welcome to the Comic Fix, your one-stop shop for every single thing DC Comics, to some creator-owned to a little bit Marvel. My name's David, and welcome to the Comic Fix. So, this Wednesday is a very special Wednesday for me. The reason is because Punk Rock Jesus comes out. And so, I'm going to start out the show with one of the comics that I just look forward to every single month, and that is Punk Rock Jesus. And it's issue 3 of 6, and I just love this series so much. I'm definitely going to be buying it on hardcover when it comes out. So in here, we get to see the effects that the mother of the clone of Jesus is having. She's just having a psychotic breakdown. And you get to see the effect that that's having on the clone of Jesus Christ. And mainly, she takes center stage in this whole entire book. And just so beautiful to see how her mental state is just going down and down throughout the years. I'm not going to ruin more than that. This is a story that I think everyone should read and experience for themselves. The only downside I can see to this whole entire book is that it's very wordy. And it's actually going to take you a lot longer than an average comic book to get through. But is it worth it? Oh yes it is. I love every single character that's in here. Even the person that's supposedly the bad guy, yes, he may be a dick, but there's always, not everything is so black and white in this issue, in this book. And that's one thing I love so much about it. It's not a book that's going to be ripping on the Christians in this book. It's ripping on everybody, from Christians to how our daily society is. Everything is hit on in this book, and no one is going to be left behind on this guy just making his points in this book. Another thing I really love is just Sean Murphy. He does the writing and the art. The art in here is so gorgeous. I could not see anybody else conveying his message than him. And if there was anybody else who said, hey, I'll come and do the art while you do the writing, it will never work out. Sean Murphy, this is his baby. This is just one beautiful book. Book that you just get so much out of it, and it hits so many different emotions. You just feel so bad for the mother of Jesus Christ in this issue, or in general, just reading the past 3 issues, you just feel so bad for her. See the situation that she's put in through, and the hell that she has to go through because of her selfishness. She put herself in this mess, and she knows it. But she wants to get her son out of it. She knows that she did a wrong thing. And just to see all the mental effect on it is just gorgeous. This book hits so many different emotions, as I say, that is unlike any other comic book that you're ever going to read. So if you're a person that just likes the superhero comics, don't go near this book. But if you're a comic book reader that wants something more in his comics, go pick up this book. You can easily go and pick up the past 2 issues and get caught up right away. It is so worth it. This is one series that I'm going to be buying the hardcover, and I'm going to be putting on my coffee table so everyone else in the world can see it. There's nobody that should miss this title. It is beautiful, and it's just going to be hitting so many different emotions that you did not expect to be hit in a comic book. And after reading that comic, I'm going to give this Punk Rock Jesus issue number 3 a 5 out of 5. If you did not know that already. And the thing I love most about it is that when I got done reading it, because it was the first thing I read, I could not go and read all my other comics. I was just like, man, that was just so deep and emotional and hit so many, points that I was just like, man, I don't want to read anything else. And if I did want to read something else, it wanted to be light. And that is where Rocketeer comes in. So this is issue number 2 of Rocketeer Cargo of Doom. Reading this book is just pure fun. There's no darkness to there. There's no, just seriousness to it. It's just a fun comic. And this is some of the reasons why people go to comics, is for stuff like this. And you get everything there. You get the cool action sequence. You get the love story. You just get all the fun that all comics should have. And you get all of it in one single package. The package may cost you $3.99, but it's a fun fun package. And in this book, you get to find out what is the cargo of doom and what is it holding. And what are the villains going to do about it and how are the Rocketeers going to stop it. I'm not going to ruin any more than that because I think this is a book that you should definitely be reading. And plus, it has Mark Waid on there. Mark Waid's the guy who's doing Daredevil right now and doing a fantastic job. And he's doing equally a fantastic job on this issue. The colorist in here, the colorist and the artist, just get it so right in this issue. Everything is just vibrant and just bright, and the writing's bright, and the situations are just fun. And after reading a really heavy, hard-hitting book like Punk Rock Jesus, going to this one brought it all back. It just brought it all back down. It's just like, man, I'm glad to have something not so deep and dark in one issue. The only bad thing I could really say about this issue is that a lot of the scenes in there are just ridiculous. There's a part in there where the villain is trying to get the attention of the Rocketeer, so he's on a plane throwing like bombs down on the airport. And so the Rocketeer goes in there and stops him, and it was just really campy and fun. And then to have the villain, the reason why the villain's doing everything and why he wants the rocket, it's just so like ridiculous, and you're just like, wow, it just puts a smile to your face. That's all I can really say about this book. If you want a book that's gonna put a smile on your face, it's not too wordy, but it's just pure fun. Look no further than Rocketeer. So I'm gonna give Rocketeer issue number 2, Cargo of Doom, a 4 out of 5. Fun book. Now on to another serious book by Scott Snyder, and that is American Vampire, Lords of Nightmare, issue number 4 of 5. I have loved this mini-series that Scott Snyder's doing. But this issue is a little different than all the other ones. It's more setup for the climax that you're going to get in the next issue. Where in this issue, you got the American Vampire crew trying to find, what's his name? Dracula. They're trying to find Dracula. And the Carpathian, another bloodline is trying to find Dracula before Dracula gets to the Russia. So it's just a race to get to this train. And it's just a fun book, but there's just so much setup in here. There's not any scenes where you're like, okay, that was heart pounding, or that scene just was really climactic. No, there was none of that in this issue. It was more setup than anything, and then at the end, it was more setup. There was like really no answers answered in this book. It was just setup for the climactic battle between Dracula and the American Vampire crew. So, in the end, I just really didn't care about this issue as much. I mean, the artwork in there is beautiful. The writing in there is good. But it was just the story in general, with it just being setup after setup after setup, just for this climax at the end of the rainbow. So, if I was reading this book as a whole volume, this issue would not have bothered me as much. But since I have it only in one single issue and I have to wait a whole entire month to get the climax, I'm going to give American Vampire Lords of Nightmare a 3 out of 5. It definitely did a good job on the writing and on the artwork, but just too much setup. I like having setup, but not a whole issue of setup. Have some action sequences, some answers, and then some more setup for the last issue. So I think that this issue right here just hit on the wrong note, but the series has been so good. And since the series has started, it's always been in my top 5 for the month. But this issue just right here, too much setup. I mean, I can't stand all that setup. Alright, next up is Fantastic Four, issue number 610. The organization of AIM has bought a nation. Slowly, the U.S.'s satellites are going through there and finding out that they're having some nuclear reactors built on this nation, on this island. And so they call on the Fantastic Four to go in there, figure out what's going on, and stop the bad guy. But not everything is what it seems. To find out what I mean, you have to read this book. Jonathan Hickman. I really enjoy him. I enjoy all the stuff he's been doing with Fantastic Four. I've read like the past 8 issues of his. And this issue was quite a bit fun. The only negatives I thought was the points in there where you got the big old battle between Wizard and his henchmen, and just the Fantastic Four just bulldozing through them. Those scenes right there just did not grab me at all. They were just seemed just thrown in there, just saying, oh hey, we need some action in this book, so we'll just throw 3 or 4 pages of it. And I never really felt the hits or anything like that. The artist in there, he does a beautiful job throughout the book. But just those fight scenes just didn't grab me or didn't make me feel anything. But to see I want to call him the weather wizard, but no, it's just called the Wizard, is how he's having a mental breakdown and how just changed he is. I am very novice at Marvel, but I got who the character was of Wizard and where he is right now. And I liked what I saw right at this moment. Especially at the end, where I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool, so sinister. And it makes me want to go and pick up FF to figure out what happens next. That was something I was not expecting. And I did like how everything was just molding through. The only bad parts in there was just that fight scene in the middle. But other than that, it's a good book, smart book. I enjoyed it. And there's one part in there where President Obama, he's talking to Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, and Iron Man. And Obama was just like, so what would you do in this situation to, you know, clear everything up with this new AIM nation or whatever it's called? And Captain America's like, I'll just break them down, you know? And I just look at it, it's just a picture of Obama just being like, no, that's not what we're going to do. And then Mr. Fantastic's like, we're going to go talk to them. That was a pretty funny scene. And then there was another scene in there where at the end of that battle between the Wizard and his henchmen, Spider-Man, the Thing, and I forget who else, are just sitting there eating dinner, and they notice that the henchman is still wearing like these like radioactive masks. And the Thing asks like, I wonder, we're eating dinner or we're eating lunch and they're having lunch, but how can they eat the stuff with their mask on? And you see the guy on there like, oh shit, they figured out something. It was done so well, just really funny. I like the notes that Jonathan Hickman hit on this book, except for that big old fight sequence that's just right in the middle. But in the end, I get Fantastic Four issue number 610. A 3.5 out of 5. Fun book. Just a book that will bring a smile to your face, and that's really what you want out of Fantastic Four. And it's nice though. Out of these 4 books, there was a mixture. There's just the fun side of things, and then there was a serious side of things. Especially with Punk Rock Jesus. But in the end, these are some really good books, and I'm glad I picked them up. And yeah, if you're ever thinking about what should I buy, if you want a serious side, go with Punk Rock Jesus. But if you want the fun, just pure fun, go with Rocketeer. I'm going to be promoting the hell out of this book. I just love this book so much. And thank you to Minutia for, you know, telling me about this character. Because I actually never heard about this character until I saw his videos. And I was just like, wow, that just sounds like so much fun. So everyone, go pick up Rocketeer. Really, really good. Alright, this is the end of this video. In my next video, I'm going to have my DC side of things. So I'll see you guys next time.